So yeah, this is just what I think. I'm not sure it's true or not, but the Baphomet, like Ophias Levi, and the one he drew, the goat with the breasts and the sitting on the whatever with the how he's sitting like in the lotus or whatever, and with one hand up, one hand down. It's like, I think what that means is the goat, I think, has to do with like the female sexual reproductive organs. If you look at them, they're the ovaries and whatever, they're shaped like a goat's head. And the goat also means people say greatest of all time, G-O-A-T, or the God of all time. And, the Baphomet is like phonetics, like Phoenician. And I think the Phoenicians were and Ba, just being the father, the God, the father, the whatever, So it's like, I think what it is it's like that those female organs, or the goat's head, are how everything comes from the word. So those female organs, and the mouth is the vaginal canal. So, and he's the father of phonetics. And the Phoenicians were the ones that were like vagabonds that were roaming everywhere, and they were picking up all the mystery religion kind of traits of the world and whatnot, and they were sacrificing children supposedly everywhere they were going, and they were getting to get power from from Satan, from Saturn or whatever, and they all worship Saturn. I think that's where the Jews, the Canaanites, the Jews, and everything got kind of twisted and confused and whatever. Like it says in the Bible, you are of the bloodline of Abraham, but you're not Jews. You're the children of the father of the devil. So it's like, that's their God. It's their one true God. Like, but it's the God of knowledge and whatever. So it's the God of the Word too, the Father of the Word, the Father of phonetics. So he's speaking the word out of the mouth of the goat, which is really the vaginal canal, and then that's where the creation supposedly comes out of, where it manifests, and then that creation would go to the breasts, the mother's milk, right below that, and so then the creation would be nurtured by the mother's milk, or the father's milk, whatever you want to call it, in that case, and then it goes down to where he's got like his penis is like got the two serpents spiraling around it, and showing the centrifugal force, the vril, whatever you want to call it, whatever that force is, and is in between his legs when he's sitting cross-legged. Then it's got one hand going up, one hand going down. One says coagula, one says solve, and that just means solvent, something that lightens or thins something. It's up and then like rising, and then to go lower is coagula. That's to coagulate, to get thicker, to thicken. And then he's sitting on, his feet are resting on like a dome thing. When you look in the Bible, the earth is, the firmament is God's footstool. So that underneath him is the earth, it's the dome or whatever, the firmament, is what that's saying. So it's basically the God of knowledge and of the word and the father of the word and everything to these people, to the Phoenicians or the people that everybody thinks are the Jews today, the Canaanites. That's their God. And our God's abode is Polaris, supposedly is what people have said. So then you've got where the sabbatical goat is actually sitting, placed above our God. He's bigger than God. So it's like the devil's kind of what he prophesied for himself, or what he wanted for himself to come true. So that's kind of what that's the vision of. And so that's the Baphomet, is the Phoenicians' god, or the god of the people that everybody thinks are the Jews of today. And I don't believe that. Now you look at the how the Jews are all supposed to return to Jerusalem, or the great peace, the great shalom. It's like, but the Jerusalem is, they say all the people will return and blah 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 to Jerusalem. Well, the problem is that when they talk about Meru, which is the great Meru, is Sumeru. The prefix being Su, and then Meruian. The people were Meruians, Sumerians. So they're actually from Mount Meru, is where Babylon was. But Babylon had like 2 towers. It had one, like in the Lord of the Rings. That's about 2. You have the one at the center, and then you have, for lack of a better term, you have a satellite one too. They used to equate it to like like an old bread wheel machine, how kind of like a, what do they call them, bread mills, or a mill, like how we would spin in a circle and it would grind the things. Well, one is not a satellite because it's not moving, but it's out a ways, and then you have one at the central axis. And so the real place is at the North Pole. You know how now they're letting the one in the Middle East, they're letting the Ethiopians, who are the real Jews, are letting them go to Jerusalem, and they're trying to call them beta Jews now, like the pre-Jews, the original Jews, right? So, which is funny. But I think the real calling home is going to be to the North Pole, under Polaris. It's funny because like in the Book of Enoch and stuff, people don't want to call that canonized, but I don't think there's anything that would be more, by definition, literal canon than the Book of Enoch, because he was God's chosen scribe. He wasn't one that was channeled, God channeled through a human being to write books for the Bible. He was actually a literal scribe, God's literal scribe, the one person that God chose to be his personal scribe. And if you read the Book of Enoch, when the angels are taking him around and showing him how everything functions, so he can, when God sends him on their little trip to show him how everything works and what's really going on and stuff, the angel takes him to a place where there's like 3 great mountains of stone that are heading north and south or something. I think it's 3 east and west, or this and that, and one's got a light shooting out of the top of it, and this and that. And what that is the pyramids. They took him to the pyramids, and think about that back in the day when nobody was around like they are today, and nobody's seen it. And then he's taken there by these angels, and he says, what is this horrible place? What's this horrible place? And the angel says, well, the horrible place, that's the prison for the fallen angels. And lo and behold, those were designed, the pyramids were designed by the angels. The angels built them. We have all these stories about this and that, about where they came from and how man built them and these civilizations. No, those are built by the angels to imprison the fallen angels. And lo and behold, until a time where they're to be released again, which is ironic, because if you look at the news, CNN or whatever it was, if you just type in maybe Zahi Hawass, Osiris, something like that, and you watch the videos, you'll see that maybe 10 years ago, give or take 5 more years or something, maybe, they went down in a shaft 100 and something feet below the Sphinx on CNN, and they found Osiris's bones, his grave. Um, so, I mean, make of that what you will, but it's right there in black and white. I mean, the Book of Enoch, that's where they were imprisoned there, and they were going to be, and then it says they're going to be released at a certain date that the Lord chooses, and look where we're at. And it also says that book, the preface to the book is that it's for the last generations and the last days, and the Ethiopians had a copy of it on deerskin, ever since, but we didn't get a copy of it until 1947, when a lot of interesting things took place, and it says right in there, the first thing it says in there is that it's intended for the last generations of the end times. So, just something to think about. Not that I really know what I'm saying it holds any weight. I could just be a fool and just dreaming these, connecting dots that don't exist for all I know. But I don't think so. I feel as though I know so, but take it with a grain of salt. And if nothing else, it's just interesting information, or it's a great story I made up. But anyways, God bless whoever is willing to accept that blessing, and just don't fall for the lie. It's all lies and deception everywhere, but it's no need to get up in a tizzy about it or get depressed about it. It's very interesting and it's very happy. It's a very glad day when you realize that all that weight sheds off you when you realize it's all a lie. All the angst to be this or that, it's all a fallacy. The best you can be is just enjoy life here, because it's fleeting and it's temporary, and it means so much, but it doesn't mean what we thought it did. It's everything you really need is basically given to you already for free. The aspiration to be all these things that don't matter will be gone once the veil is lifted from your eyes. You realize that God gave you everything we need already, and life is so simple and we need so little. Everything we need is there for the taking, and easier said than done at first. But once you get over that hurdle and you become grounded in the fact that this whole lie to get everybody rounded up into these cities and to rely on the man for everything, and your food and your blah 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 and this and that, and everything's so expensive, and it's like, if you can just get away from that and get out and plant some fruit trees. It's so simple. Plant some fruit trees. Get some free land. Get some land that's like next to free. Just whatever God puts in your lap for nothing. Just to make the attempt to go look for it. Go try and find something. Whatever you can afford. Even if it's a couple $1,000, just work towards that. Buy yourself a lot. Plant some fruit trees. Put a water reservoir on it. Collect some rainwater. Something with a roof. And try to wean yourself off the TV and all the electronics and stuff and everything else. But a human could survive with very little and enjoy life. A little shelter that's tiny is so cozy, and with a little roof to collect some rainwater, and you'd be surprised how little you need to be happy. The ability to clean yourself, a little bit of water collected, and a little pump or something. You don't even need that really, but to wash yourself, some fruit trees to collect some fruit, some bags of beans and rice and salt and honey and oil, and which are really expensive in bulk, and some firewood, collect it up and get ready for the next winter, and just enjoy life. Read your Bible, set up a couple little solar panels just to charge a phone maybe, and an iPad or something, and and just get down, have fun. No bills, no nothing. Just enjoy life. That would be my advice to anyone. And not that I know anything, but it's worth a try. If nothing else, you end up with a cool little vacation spot for you and your family. But give it a shot, everyone. I think this would be something worth trying. Anyway, I love you all. I hope everybody's doing great. Good night.